but we forget that that's what it takes to be a champion in whatever dream that you've been called.
Hi, my name's Devin. Today I own several multi-million-dollar companies. We started with $5,000 in a credit card. I don't know the easy way. I only know the hard way.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Whiteboard Entrepreneur Podcast, where I give straightforward advice to fuel the entrepreneur in all of us. And today I want to talk to you about dun, 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 dun. Eye of the Tiger, if you can't tell. For those of you who don't know, I was kicked out of my high school choir, and not for discipline reasons, for ability reasons. But anyways, hopefully you could understand that was the Eye of the Tiger, like dun. It's still on my playlist. Like every time I go to work out, like you hear my headphones, you hear Eye of the Tiger. And it takes me back to like the 5th grade and watching that classic montage of Rocky, and you know, he's running on the beach and you got Apollo Creed yelling, and I'm like, you got to get the Eye of the Tiger back, Rocky. You got to get the Eye of the Tiger. And he goes back to his old gym and he starts training hard, and it's just blood, sweat, and tears. And I bring this up because it wasn't but a week ago that my son wanted to watch Creed 3. So we watched Creed 3, and you know, we were into it. It was awesome. It was actually a pretty good movie. I would have done a few things a little differently, but it was great. And the reason that was so exciting for me is they had that montage scene, right? They had that scene when now, you know, it's Creed, the baby Creed, and he's going into this big fight against his rival, and he kind of goes back to old school training, right? And he's running up this hill, and he's pulling this car, and he's sweating, and he's throwing up, and he's just working his butt off. And like, everybody, I don't care if you're a guy, girl, whatever, if you're an athlete, or it doesn't matter. Like, I guarantee you, when I started saying dun, dun, everyone flashed back to that first scene there, the first montage scene they ever saw Rocky. Everyone that, no matter what, you love these scenes, right? Because they're so adrenaline fueled and they're so exciting, because you see people that are going back and just doing the gritty, hard work that it takes to become a champion. And we watch this, and we watch Apollo, and we watch Rocky, or whatever the movie it is. I don't care if any sports movie, they have this scene, right? And it's all about the behind the scenes work of becoming a champion, right? And the important part about these movies are, when you go and watch them, you know, the person always wins in the end. They always, in the last second, they get the last second goal, the last second knockout, whatever it is. They always win in the end, but the story is never about the victory at the end. It's never about putting that gold medal. It's always about the gritty, hard, back to the basics, hard work that makes you a champion. And I talk about this today because if you're an entrepreneur, you have your own montage scene, right? Right now, if you're very successful and you have this great company, and all your friends and family are like, oh, wow, I wish I had that, you know, or I wish, you know, I had my own company, or, you know, if you're a physician and, you know, you're the surgeon, everyone's like, well, geez, must be nice to be a heart surgeon, or whatever, you know, whatever it is that you've accomplished in your life. People will always like to sit back and go, well, geez, I wish I was Apollo Creed. I wish I was Rocky. I wish I was this heart surgeon. I wish I was this entrepreneur. But we watch in the movies, we watch this gritty hard work that people have to put in to become the champion. But we forget that that's what it takes to be a champion in whatever dream that you've been called, right? And so if you're thinking, yes, I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to achieve this end and this dream and this goal, you have to go back and be willing to do the dirty, hard, nasty, sweaty work that nobody else would do. In my life, I had years of that. Years. I had years of a life that people would not want to live. Like people think like, oh, wow, that scene is so sexy and exciting. And because there's music playing and it's diced up, right? And it's like, oh, look at, they're sweating, they're hitting the heavy bag. Well, that looks cool and fun, right? If you were to dice up those years, those gritty, hard years, you could make that look cool. You could make it look cool when I'm getting up at 3:45 a.m. and I'm driving, for an hour to get into my office. You could make it cool when I'm sleeping in $40 hotels or sleeping in my truck because I can't afford a hotel. You could make it cool when I'm sweating out going, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to buy diapers for my newborn? You could make it cool if you put it to music and you did this montage scene. You could make it cool when I'm sweating over a lawsuit. You could make it cool and if you put it all to music and you cut it all up, and you can make it cool and glamorous, but it wasn't. It was gritty, hard, nasty, blood, sweat, tears, sleepless nights, anxiety. All of that is what the behind the scenes was before this. And right now, people are like, oh, well, I would do that, right? Because they think, oh, I do the glamorous montage scene where someone follows me around with Rocky music. Well, let me ask you, would you wake up at 3:45 a.m.? Would you put all of your money that you had on the line to support your company? Would your spouse, like mine did, support me for 2 years and any excess money that we had, she would put back into the company? Would you, forego childcare and having your spouse work and having to put a baby in childcare to get the company started? Would you work all day and then fly on the red eye at night because you couldn't afford a manager, so you'd have to manage during the day and you'd fly at night and say, well, I guess I'll sleep on the plane? Would you have sleepless nights praying that your customers paid your bills on time so that you could pay yourself, so that you could pay your mortgage? Would you sleep in that bed of the car to save $45 from the rat-infested hotel that you would maybe sleep in if you paid $45 for? Would you do the gritty hard work that it takes to become a champion? You see, we all want to be Rocky. We all want to have that final scene when he guts it out and in the last round hits a swing and knocks out the enemy, right? We all want to have that where we take down that opponent. We all want to have that when we're given the gold medal, but are we willing to do the gritty, hard, nasty work that it takes to get there? Because I'm going to tell you what, Rocky, Creed, those are movies. And I'm not telling you that there aren't people that live that life, because there are. But entrepreneurs live that life every single day. Anyone that's going out there pursuing their dream lives that life every single day. That cardiologist that, you drive by their house and go, must be nice. Well, listen, it was, you see him now, the cardiologist living in that house on the hill. What you don't see is when you were at a party in college, that person was literally up all night, sleepless nights studying. That person gave up years of their life and invested money to go to school, that while you were doing whatever you were doing, buying your first car, having your first house, they were still in school, right? They were working 30-hour shifts while you were doing whatever you were doing. And so let me tell you, it takes courage to pursue your dreams. It takes blood, sweat, tears, sleepless nights, anxiety to pursue your dreams. But it's pretty awesome too. And maybe someday you can have your own montage scene. Maybe someday Eye of the Tiger will be playing in the back of your head when you think of everything that you went through to get to where you're at today. I'm Devin. This is Whiteboard Entrepreneur Podcast. And I know that if you commit to that grit, that hard work, that anxiety, those sleepless nights, that investment of time, investment of resources, investment of money, that commitment, I know that it will pay off for you in the end. I'm Devin. This is Whiteboard Entrepreneur Podcast. I hope this helps.